Happy Tuesday. We are going to talk through the first half of what you learned about in Algebra 1 class today, which is section 13.2. So I'm just going to hit with you today 3 of the main vocab words that you should have gotten out of there. And then tomorrow I will do another lesson where we talk about sort of the second half of the notes, what you saw in Algebra 1. So the 3 vocab words that we are going to hit on today are observational study, experiment, and survey. So we really need to talk through and make sure that you understand what these are, because a part of your task in Algebra 1 is going to be to read a situation and be able to classify it as one of those 3. So in an observational study, you are taking measures, some sort of measure, from members of a sample without trying to affect them at all. So for example, you can do this by simply watching people. So if I was sitting at a park and I was trying to watch and figure out how many people at the park came there via a bicycle, then I could just simply watch and I could count how many people were coming in on a bicycle versus how many people were coming from other methods of transportation. And I would never have to talk to those people. They wouldn't necessarily know that I was even collecting data. I would not be affecting how they decided to come or go from the park. In an experiment, you are going to be assigning things to people. So typically in an experiment, you are going to have at least 2 groups, and at least one of those groups is going to be assigned some sort of treatment. So just be careful when you think about the word treatment, because treatment does not have to be medicine. A treatment can be simply just telling a group to do something or not do something, giving them something or taking something away from them. So we think of treatment as some sort of medicine. That's just where our mind goes. But a treatment does not necessarily have to be some form of medicine. But you do need to make sure that if you are labeling something as an experiment, that you can clearly state what is the treatment that was given. And then the third option, which is probably the option that you guys are most familiar with, is what is called a survey. So in a survey, you are taking information from a sample group by just asking them a group of questions and letting them answer you. So that could be like a survey on SurveyMonkey, so an online survey. I know you guys are familiar with those. You could be calling people and asking them questions. You could be walking up to people and asking them questions. But if that's how you are collecting your data, is by asking people questions and writing down their responses, then you are conducting a survey. So we're going to look at these next 3 examples that you see here, and we are going to classify them as either an observational study, an experiment, or a survey. So on number 1, it says a study took a random sample of adults and asked them about their bedtime habits. The data showed that people who drank a cup of tea before bedtime were more likely to go to sleep earlier than those who didn't drink tea. So what would this be? Hopefully, as you are thinking about this, this would be a survey, right? So I am taking a group of people and I'm asking them about their bedtime habits. So they are telling me their response. So that makes that a survey. On the second one, it said a study randomly assigned volunteers to one of 2 groups. One group was directed to use social media sites as they usually do. One group was blocked from social media sites. The researchers looked at which group tended to be happier. So things to notice here. We took these volunteers and we divided them up into 2 groups. So hopefully as you read through that, that stood out. And this would be an experiment. So what is the treatment if this is an experiment? So the treatment here is allowing people to access social media. So social media is really the treatment. One group was allowed access to social media, the other group was not. So that's the treatment that's being given out. And then on number 3, a popular website asks website visitors to rate their experience on the website before they leave for another site. So what would this be? Now, I know there are some of you who are just going with observational study because it's the one that we haven't used yet, which I knew that you would do that. But this is not an observational study because, again, we are asking people a question. So this would, again, be a survey. So I have set up for you on Canvas, just like every other day that you're on Canvas taking a quiz, a short quiz, 3 questions. You'll go through and answer those. You can take it up to 3 times and your highest score will be recorded. And then, like I said, I will be back with you tomorrow with the second half of what you learned in Algebra 1 today. Have a good day.